Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats just came up in one of my videos, and so I shared a favorite stanza from it. Once upon a time, when I was the age of some of my undergraduates, I had memorized the entire poem. What is it, 60 lines, 70 lines? It's a classic. I felt compelled to memorize it because in February of 1988, I had returned back from London where I met Kate, and I was taking a British Poetry Now class, and the British poet Tony Harrison makes an allusion to the beginning of Ode to a Nightingale. "Me heart aches," he said. And our professor, Harry Thomas, a wonderful professor at Boston University, asked us what poem he was alluding to, and I thought to myself, I should know this. But I didn't know it. We all sat there in silence. So he said, of course, this is Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats. Come on, you English majors. So I was so embarrassed that I decided, on walks like this one, but with far less nature in the city of Boston, that I would memorize the poem. It probably took me a couple weeks, but I did so. And then, of course, over the decades, I forgot it. So I've got my phone here to back me up. But how about now, let's hear Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats. My heart aches, and a drowsing numbness pains my sense as though of hemlock I had drunk, or emptied some dull opiate to the drains 1 minute past and the leatherworts were sunk. 'Tis not through envy of thine happy lot, but by being too happy in thine happiness that thou, light-winged dryad of the trees, in some melodious plot of beechen green and shadows numberless, singest of summer in full-throated ease. Oh, for a draught of vintage that hath been cooled a long age in the deep delved earth, tasting of flora and the country green, dance and provincial song and sunburnt mirth. Oh, for a beaker full of the warm south, full of the true, the blushful hippocrene, with beaded bubbles winking at the brim and purple-stained mouth, that I might drink and leave the world unseen, and with thee fade away into the forest dim. Fade far away, dissolve, and quite forget what thou amongst the leaves hath never known, the weariness, the fever, and the fret, here where men sit and hear each other groan, where palsy shakes a few sad, last, gray hairs, and youth grows pale and spectre-thin and dies, where but to think is to be full of sorrow and leaden-eyed despairs, where beauty cannot keep her lustrous eyes, or new love pine at them beyond tomorrow. Away, away, for I will fly to thee, not charioted by Bacchus and his pards, but on the viewless wings of poesy. Though the dull brain perplexes and retards, already with thee, tender is the night, and haply the queen moon is on her throne, clustered round by all her starry fays. But here there is no light, save what from heavens is with the breezes blown through verdurous glooms and winding mossy ways. I cannot see what flowers are at my feet, nor what soft incense hangs upon the boughs, but in embalmed darkness, guess each sweet wherewith the seasonable month endows the grass, the thicket, and the fruit tree wild, white hawthorn and pastoral eglantine, fast fading violets covered up with leaves, and mid-May's eldest child, the coming musk rose, full of dewy wine, the murmurous haunt of flies on summer eves. Darkling I listen, and for many a time I've been half in love with easeful death, called him soft names and many a mused rhyme to take into the air my quiet breath. Now more than ever seems it rich to die, to cease upon the midnight with no pain, while thou art pouring forth thy soul abroad in such an ecstasy. Still wouldst thou sing, and I have ears in vain. To thy high requiem become a sod. Thou wast not born for death, immortal bird. No hungry generations tread thee down. The voice I hear this passing night was heard an ancient day by emperor and clown. Perhaps the self-same song that found a path through the sad heart of Ruth when, sick for home, she stood in tears amid the alien corn, the same that oft-time hath charmed magic casements, opening on the foam of perilous seas, and fairylands forlorn. Forlorn! The very word is like a bell to toll me back from thee to my sole self. Adieu. The fancy cannot cheat so well as she is famed to do, deceiving elf. Adieu, adieu. Thy plaintive anthem fades past the near meadows, over the still stream, up the hillside, and now 'tis buried deep in the next valley glades. Was it a vision or a waking dream? Fled is that vision. Do I wake or sleep? That was Ode to a Nightingale by John Keats, read and largely recited to you by Dr. Andy. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Bye-bye.